What is up, Nerf Nation? I'm Naptown Nerf, and this is an unboxing and review of the Nerf Rival Phantom Core Hera. Man, this blaster looks awesome, guys. I can't wait to get this unboxed. I also went ahead and grabbed the Phantom Core Rival Mask. I have not actually picked up a Rival Mask to date, but this one looked really cool and decided to go ahead and grab it. And we'll give this a little mini review, as well as the Rival Rechargeable Battery Pack, which actually does work with the Hera. It'll also work with your Chaos and Nemesis. So it will work with all three of those. I highly recommend buying this if you have any of those three blasters, because it'll save you a lot of money in the long run on batteries. But we'll go ahead and see how it does. So the Phantom Core Rival line is a Target exclusive line. It's going to be all white. It's kind of a tweener between the red and the white, so you could play for Team Red if you wanted to, or you could play for Team Blue, which I think is pretty cool. Or you could be a whole other team of just Team White, or just a rogue team, which I think is pretty awesome. I really like that idea, and honestly, I think the white looks super cool. And the little logo here they have is pretty boss, so that's pretty awesome. This thing, just like most Rival blasters, is supposed to get 100 feet per second, so that's really cool, really good performance. It's going to load through the grip just like the Apollo. It is a flywheel powered blaster, so you're going to rev this, it's going to fire the balls just like a Zeus, so it's kind of between a Zeus and an Apollo, so that's kind of cool, and I think it's kind of the best of both worlds. So I'm excited to go ahead and get this thing out of the box. Let's go ahead and real quick take a spin around here and see if there's anything interesting in the back to look at. It does come with some flags here, so you could attach these to the clip back here, and you could play for Team Red or Team Blue. And it also comes with a 12-round magazine, but we'll go ahead and unbox this and see what all is inside. All right, let's get into this thing. Alright guys, so you get your blaster, you get a 12-round magazine, you get your 12 high-impact rounds, and you get your two flags, one red, one blue, which is pretty cool. And then you have your directions here. Alright guys, I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's quickly talk about the mask so I can take it off so you guys can hear me better. But the mask is not the most comfortable, and there's a lot of reflection actually in the glass itself, so I would highly recommend, unless you just love the way this looks, to just get way cheaper eye pro from Amazon. You can get like eye pro for $1 or a couple bucks. That's much better. But the design on the mask is really cool, and why I decided, well, I'll go ahead and pick it up and do a little review on it for you guys. But the back of the mask actually is very similar to like goggles that you get for swimming, and it's pretty hard, and it kind of puts a lot of pressure against your face, so it's not the most comfortable. And it does fit me, so I'm sure it would fit pretty much anyone. It is an adjustable strap there, so you can kind of adjust it to fit. It looks cool. It's a cool looking mask, but in terms of function, it's not the best. This is very reflective and not the best for visibility. I think it's a solid pass unless you just love the way that looks. Let's move on to the blaster. Alright, so the Rival Hera, you guys, is pretty awesome. It is actually much larger than I thought it was going to be, and that's has to do with a few things. Mainly the flywheels are mounted sideways instead of vertical, and the size is very comparable in my mind to the Artemis. The grip is huge. It is the biggest grip Nerf has ever made by far. I'm sure of it. I mean, it is just massive. So if you don't have a good size hand, I could see that actually not being very comfortable. Like I have pretty good size hands, and my hands just barely make it around it. I have a large adult size hand, so yeah. Rev trigger though, oh, I love that clicky sound. They're using much better switches these days, and that is just, oh, that sounds so good. Love that. There is actually a somewhat of an extended mag release on this thing, which is pretty cool. So that makes it really easy to unload there, and one of the balls is stuck up in there now, which is great. So I love that. That's really easy to load, and this has got to be the easiest loading blaster Rival has made by far yet. Like, this is even better than the Apollo because of that. I mean, that is just awesome, and you know, they're taking some tips from the modding community, I think, in the extended mag releases. So that's pretty cool. We do have a jam door up here, but it's very neatly hidden. Like, you have one little orange piece that's part of the Picatinny or faux Picatinny, and then you can see in there to your flywheels. Now, looking in this, I can say that the jams are going to happen behind actually where because there's actually a ball in here right now because I was pulling the trigger with the magazine in. So there's actually a ball kind of in there now, and I don't know how I'm going to get that out. Like, if the ball's stuck before the flywheels, which is where it usually gets stuck, if it goes past the flywheels, it's going to shoot. So it's kind of a strange position. I think it should have been pushed back here a little bit. So I'm not sure why they decided there was the best place. Yep, okay, I was able to get my finger all the way back in there and then push it out. So it is possible to unjam your blaster. It's just not as convenient as if it was moved back a little bit. This does not do anything. There is no up and down like a lot of the blasters have. So that is your sight there. There's no back part, so you don't really have any sort of iron sight to speak of. The front muzzle is really cool looking. It has some holes in there that are pretty neat. And the whole blaster is just really cool. I really like the look of it, and I shouldered this, and this is actually really comfortable. I really like the size of it and the comfort of that stock. I don't think I'm going to be cutting this one down. I probably will buy another one at some point when they get a little cheaper and make it into a pistol, but this one I kind of like the feel of it. And this is going to be a huge blaster to holster if you try to do so. Even if you do cut it down, it's still going to be a chunker. So this blaster does have a trigger lock. So if you pull that back, you're not able to pull the trigger. If you pull it forward and you're holding the rev trigger, then you will be able to pull the trigger. This grip is actually pretty cool. It has some texturing to it, and the black is more of a muted black instead of like the shiny black plastic that all the other grips have been. So I think that's neat, and it kind of adds some character to the blaster. So the flags that it came with go and attach back here. These are actually really large, much larger than I thought they were going to be, from the picture anyways. You can just clip them on there. You know, it's kind of a neat gimmick, but, you know, I don't think I will be using this. I think that's kind of tacky, and kind of gets in the way a little bit. It's there, it's a neat add-on, and it's fun, I guess, if you want to play Team Red or Team Blue, which I think is fun for kids when they're playing in their basement or whatever outside. Then you can pick a side. Battery charged. Let's throw her in the blaster. Batteries go right in the top here. So obviously this will work with 6C batteries, but I do prefer the battery pack, as it's been known for a while that you get slightly better performance with the battery pack, plus you just don't have to buy batteries all the time. So it's a pretty good deal. And I think the battery pack retails for $30, and I actually got mine on sale on Amazon, so you can get it cheaper than that. Alright, got the battery pack in. Put the magazine in, and let's see what happens. Balls everywhere. It's pretty sweet. But yeah, I think this blaster's cool. Let's go ahead and take it outside and put her over the chronograph and see what kind of ranges we get. Alright guys, let's see what the Phantom Hera has to offer us over the range and the chronograph. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty good. I have the 12-round magazine here loaded up, and then I have a few 7-round Apollo mags that I've been lucky enough to thrift loaded up, so we'll get a good number of shots here to give us a good idea of what it's doing. Here we go. 95, 91, 87, 98, 93, duplicate 93, 95, 98, duplicate 98, 92, 95, 99. All right, that's it for that one. We'll throw in a 7-rounder. There we go. So the 7-rounders do work in there, no problem. 95, 94, 96, 97, 98, 94, 94. That's it. All right, I think that's enough, and we'll go ahead and check out the ranges. All right, first one here is just short of 52 feet. We got one here at 55, maybe just a tad past. A big clump right here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here, right around that 63 to 64 foot range. And there's another good clump right here around 68 with 6 more right there. So that's pretty good. And then we have 2 right here, just short of 71 feet. And one here at 70, just short of 76. One all the way up here that went to about 81 feet. And I think that's about it. I might have missed 1 or 2, but I think that gives you a good idea. You know, I would say that 65 to 70 foot range is about the average. Maybe, yeah, a little less than 70 feet is probably the average. And pretty good performance, obviously, out of the Phantom, you know, hitting near that 100 FPS mark. Let's go back inside and I'll give you my final overview. All right, you guys, so the Phantom Rival Hera is awesome. I just love this thing. It is all around probably the best rival blaster aside from the Nemesis. It is kind of the Strife of the rival line. Unfortunately, it's not as cheap as a Strife. At $60 retail, it's a bit pricey, and I understand why people might not want to pick it up at that price, but Target does have sales quite often on Nerf things, so I'm sure you'll be able to find it at some point on sale. This blaster rocked. Performance was in line with all rival flywheel blasters. I was very impressed. The rechargeable battery pack actually made it rev up much quicker than it does with normal C batteries, so I highly recommend, if you buy one of the blasters that accepts this battery pack, to purchase the battery pack, because it will save you money in the long run and you'll get better performance both with FPS slightly, maybe not too much there, but definitely in the rev up time. It's going to be a lot quicker, so you don't have to wait like that 2 seconds or whatever maybe it is with the C batteries. This was probably revving up to full power in under a second, I would say. Right around a second, maybe just a little less. So the ergonomics of this blaster, this mag release is just probably my favorite part. That is just so easy to unload and reload. That's been the major flaw with most of the rival line. I think this is the easiest to load of all of the rival blasters. You know, the grip is large, but it's still very comfortable, and I really don't have a problem with it. I like that it feeds through the grip, so obviously it has to be large to do that and fit this micro switch that revs the blaster. The trigger pull is really nice. I like that. Really the only downside to this blaster is if you incur a jam, it's kind of hard to get it unjammed because the jam door isn't really located in the right spot. And to unjam your blaster, you will have to take the magazine out to do so. It should be noted that I didn't incur any jamming. I was using the Nerf branded high impact rounds, so I wasn't using any aftermarket rounds. I know some people have had problems with jamming with the aftermarket rounds, and I've just recently seen that they are coming out with half yellow, half blue, and half yellow, half red high impact rounds. So that's really cool. I kind of want them to come out with all white rounds because I just think that would be awesome to shoot out of this thing, or maybe half white, half black. That would be boss. I would really like to see them do that, and maybe they will now that they've come out with the half yellow, half blue, and half yellow, half red. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. This foregrip is really comfortable. Everything is really tight and compact. It's about as small as you can get a rival blaster right now, so I think this is a buy if you're willing to spend that $60. I think it's something I will definitely use out on the field. I'll be using this and my Nemesis and loving both of them. So big props to Nerf and the Rival line. They've just hit the ball out of the park with the 3 blasters they've released this year with the Artemis, the Hera, and the Nemesis. Those are all just great blasters, and I highly recommend any of those 3 for sure. One other prop I give Nerf is they used a very clicky rev trigger, which is awesome. I hope they continue to do that in future blasters because I think it's just a much higher quality switch and the feel of it is just a lot nicer than their mushy normal rev triggers. So I think there's really not too much more to say about this thing. I think it's a pretty awesome blaster. I think most people think that. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my review of the Nerf Phantom Core Rival Hera. I mean, I can't wait to see what other blasters they release in this line. And I'll probably be picking them up because I'm a sucker for the white and black for whatever reason. So with that, I just want to say please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell next to it to get notifications. And as always, guys, peace out.